Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good option. But yeah, I mean, I prefer not to do Cole Bishop just so I can take him. But
Okay, it's going to be Cole Bishop then.
It's the IDP Show, now you know.
Welcome to the IDP Show. I'm your host, Josh Raymer, joined, as always, in the Sode Shack. It is Adam Markham. We are doing a rookie mock draft tonight. Offense plus IDP, 5 rounds, 1 QB, PPR, big 3 scoring. Addy, this is one of my favorite episodes that we do every year. We talk, ourselves to death about these rookies. And now we finally get to put our money where our mouth is and start drafting these guys. It's a lot of fun.
Got to do it. Got to get the reps in before the real thing. We got a great group of drafters here. I think that you'll be able to take a lot away from what we're about to do here. So
yeah, and
strap in, enjoy.
That's right. It's all IDP Show, folks, this year. Yep. We were able to recruit from within our own team. Addy, why don't you, I've got the board pulled up, but why don't you give us the draft order? 12 team, again, PPR, 1 QB, big play scoring. Who do we have drafting with us tonight?
All right, in the 1 spot, we got our buddy Aaron. 102, we have Jeff. We got you in the 3 spot.
Yes.
Mike Woolert in the 4 spot. Eric Harms in the 5 spot. Joey the Tooth in the 6. Evan Ringler's drafting from the 7 spot. Kyle Bellyfuel from the 8. Scott Solstice is 109. Jake at 110, IDP Jake, and then we got DJ Keltown at 111, and then I am at 112.
All right, there you go. So, like I said, we've got the board. We are going to be able to pull that up, and you all will be able to follow along as we are drafting. We will be getting input from each drafter as they make their pick. We've got a 2-minute timer, so we're going to try to knock this thing out pretty quick and just give you guys an idea of where the IDPs, where the offensive players, how these rounds are starting to play out. So we are underway, and no surprise, Marvin Harrison Jr. goes at the 101 to Aaron. So Jeff is up on the clock now. Probably going to be Malik Neighbors here if I had to guess.
Yeah, with it being 1 QB. And don't be, if you're not in any 1 QB leagues, there's a lot of snobs out there. Just add quarterbacks in your mind. All right, there'd probably be about 5 or 6 quarterbacks in the first round. 4 of them are going to be in the top 7, I'd say.
Yeah, I think the top 4, McCarthy, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and Caleb Williams are probably all going first round.
Exactly. Top 8 usually.
I don't know that Bo Nix and Michael Penix should go first round.
I think
Bo probably should. Michael Penix, I don't think so.
Yeah, but I don't think it's that bad of a move either. I think it's a safe move. If you had, imagine if you have Kirk Cousins or something. I think it makes a lot of sense to go.
There are certain situations where I could see it. So we got our first 2 kind of pick inputs here from Aaron and from Jeff, and I will read those as soon as I make my pick here, which is an easy one. Yeah, Malik Neighbors goes at the 102. I'm at the 103 in our main Dynasty League, the XFFL, so I felt like good practice for me to see what might be available here when I'm on the clock in our Dynasty draft, our rookie draft for that Dynasty League. So this is an easy one. I'm going Rome Odunze. Love the landing spot. Love the fit. Love having Caleb Williams as your quarterback. And I'm not worried about the target competition. I'm really not, because I think Keenan Allen is much closer to the end of his career than the beginning. And I think eventually Rome Odunze will be a better wide receiver than DJ Moore. So give me the Bears' #1 future wide receiver tethered to Caleb Williams, the best prospect we've seen in many years. And that makes me very happy to get him at the 103. So let's read off some of the rationale here. Aaron said, let's not get cute here. You can toss around the term generational prospect if you want. We seem to get them every year now, so are they really generational anymore? No, they are not. But all that aside, the only of the big 3 wide receivers that got a great landing spot pre-draft, it seemed like it was down to preference between Marvin Harrison Jr., Neighbors, and Odunze for people on which one they took. Now you could argue anything else that isn't Marv at 101 and 1 QB is negligence. So, Jeff, for Malik Neighbors, Daniel Jones, which is apparently what Malik Neighbors called his quarterback, Daniel Jones, doesn't scare me and will be gone in a year anyway. Neighbors will be peppered with targets and easily should lead the Giants in targets, catches, yards, and TDs at receiver this season. Love his ability to create after the catch, and offensive coordinator Mike Kafka should be salivating to scheme for Neighbors this season. So there you go. We've had a run of picks here. Let's get you guys caught up on who has been going. So it went after Romo Dunze. It went Xavier Worthy, Brock Bowers, Brian Thomas, and Ladd McConkey at the 107. What do you think about that, Addy?
That's pretty early for Ladd.
I know.
But, I mean, I don't hate it. I think he's in a great situation. I think a lot of people are expecting that offense just to be like all they do is run now. But it could still surprise, I think. I think it could still be Herbert throwing for, 4,500 or something and doing his thing. So I wouldn't be too scared of Ladd. I think he's I mean, if the offense is, legit and doesn't really take much of a step back under Harbaugh, like, he's going to smash. So he'll be a great PPR option. I'm going to be getting some Ladd, but probably more towards the end of the first, early second, I'd say.
Yeah, so Mike's rationale for selecting Xavier Worthy was Patrick Mahomes. And then looks like Eric Harms going with Brock Bowers at 105. He said, Bowers is the obvious choice to me here, no matter how soft they think he looks. Doesn't have much of a QB this year, but I expect that to change next year. Brian Thomas Jr. at the 106 to Joey. Without a legitimate wide receiver one in Jacksonville, Thomas has the opportunity to see heavy targets early on. Evan Ringler justifying the Ladd McConkey pick. Loved Ladd pre-draft, and he got the nuts landing spot in LA. I guess that's Gen Z slang for good. I'm not worried about the run-heavy system because Ladd is clearly the best wide receiver there. Also, dope name. So, after Ladd McConkey goes Keon Coleman, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, DJ Keltown is on the board here at 111. And then, Addy, you are up next. A little run of quarterbacks there, leaving you some potential wide receiver targets if you were wanting to go that route. What are you thinking here as we approach the 112?
Well, I would love to get Jonathan Brooks. I think that he's a great value here at 112 in a 1 QB. And then, maybe Pearsall. I was kind of hoping that maybe Keon Coleman would slide, but yeah, that did not happen. And that's me being a little optimistic too, I think. But I have the 109 in our RSO league, and I'd be fine with some Keon Coleman there, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say 109, Caleb Williams. Yeah, if you get 109 Keon Coleman, I think that would be pretty nice. So Ricky Pearsall goes at the 111, so you get your Jonathan Brooks.
I like Pearsall. I took Pearsall today in a draft.
Yes, you did.
In a Superflex league. I took him at the 207, so I was very happy. That was my first pick of that draft. All right, I think I'm going to go with my boy Jonathan Brooks here.
Okay.
I mentioned him already. He's still there, so I have him as my overall 9 in 1 QB, so my RB1 in the class.
So that's a nice little value there at 112. Yeah, we should mention, folks, as you're hearing this, we are about 2 days out from the IDP Show draft kit. We'll be dropping Wednesday, May 1st. Adam's rookie ranks will be in there along with the consensus that he does with Bobby and Scott. Mike Wollert's projections will be in there. We'll have breakouts, sleepers, fades, all the best stuff there in the IDP Show draft kit. $5 a month or $50 for the year. Make sure you check it out. And then, Bobby's Mock 3.0 went live today on the site. So lots of good rookie content for the people out there. Let's catch up on some of the rationale. Scott said, even in 1 QB, Williams has the talent and landing spot to be a first-round pick so that you won't have to worry about drafting QB again anytime soon. I got to figure out who I'm taking here at 203, and then I will come back and read some of these other rationale for these picks here. But, yes, Caleb Williams, 109, Jaden Daniels, 110, Ricky Pearsall, 111, Jonathan Brooks, 112. Trey Benson, Arizona Cardinals running back, goes at the 201, and Jeff is back up on the clock at the 202, and I'm at the 203. So I know who I want to be there for me at 203. I'm hoping Jeff does not go Adonai Mitchell because that is the guy I would love to scoop up here at 203.
Oh, Colts fan.
Did
you like Ballard defending him?
I did.
Dropping a lot of dirty words.
Yeah, Ballard's lettuce is also like super sick right now, so I think he's just wanting to be on camera as much
ripped
as
up too. I noticed he's midlife crisis.
He's in full blown midlife crisis with the hair and
we'll get there.
The physique. Yeah, we will. If we live that long, which would be great.
Definitely not.
Definitely not for you. So let's see which way Jeff goes here. Drake May still on the board. Adonai Mitchell, Troy Franklin, Blake Corum. The IDP, ADP, and sleeper is a complete mess. So hopefully we can do some more drafts and start to get that straightened out just a little bit, because it is it's a hot disaster right now. You want to, for the rookie drafts on sleeper, have a good list of ranks, just like we talk about with best ball, because otherwise you are going to be in a world of hurt. So make sure you're checking those out. Wherever you want to get your ranks, we would prefer theidpshow.com, because we've got the mixed ranks there. So Xavier Legette, wide receiver, Carolina, goes at the 202 to Jeff. So this is an easy pick to me, Addy. I wasn't necessarily all over the Adonai Mitchell pick when the Colts made it, but I'm glad we attacked receiver. I like the idea of giving Anthony Richardson as many weapons as we possibly can early in his kind of development. Give him every opportunity to succeed. You know, outside of Latu, we go with Adonai Mitchell and then 2 offensive linemen in the 3rd and 4th round. So love what we're doing there to give Anthony Richardson weapons and give him protection. So let's go with Adonai Mitchell at the 203. I think this is great value here at the 2nd round.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Richardson, is he all good? You've been keeping up with?
Yes, his rehab's going great. He's up to like 40 throws per practice now, so he will be just fine come the start of the season.
Gonna be a fun offense.
It is. I'm excited.
AD Mitchell, Pittman, you got Downs. Wish you would have gotten you a tight end.
I know.
Bowers would have been very nice, but
yes, we've got some nice tight ends. A lot of athletic freak shows. We got dudes like over 6'5". You got Mo Alley Cox. You've got Jelani Woods. You've got another guy there. The one that I thought actually got cut because of the domestic violence incident is apparently still on the team. So he's still there as well. I think Ogletree, he might have been Andrew Ogletree maybe. There was one that was a 10 RAS freak.
Oh, wow.
That might have been Jelani Woods. I'll have to look up which one was like a perfect 10 RAS. So
y'all need your guy.
We do. We do need a legit tight end because we've got a bunch of like
been doing that for a long
basketball
time
players, but
y'all haven't had a tight end since like Dallas Clark.
Yeah, Dallas Clark was the last like true tight end. You know, Jack Doyle was always fine, but not a guy since Dallas Clark. So let's catch up on some of the rationale though. Here we've got some input. So going back to the Caleb Williams pick, even in 1 QB, Williams has the talent and landing spot to be a 1st round pick, so that you won't. Oh, I said that one already. Have to worry about drafting a QB again anytime soon. Kyle said with Keon Coleman, there are lots of targets to be had in Buffalo. When Josh Allen is running around doing cool stuff, he can throw it up to his new buddy Keon Coleman, who can go get it with the best of them. Jake ended up taking Jaden Daniels. 1 QB leagues don't have a ton of value in QBs unless they can take over like a Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. Jaden Daniels has the arm talent to deliver big play TD volume and the legs to break fantasy scoring. At this point in the draft, it's a swing for upside, but Daniels has it in spades. So
I like that call too. Yeah.
Yes.
Same thinking here. I have Jaden Daniels ranked as 14th overall in 1 QB, and whereas Drake May is like way down there, like in the 30-40 range, just because like it's the upside, right? If you're gonna take a swing on a QB, you want someone that has that cheat code ability, that can Konami code where he can be a rushing quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to take if it's going to be a quarterback in early in drafts, especially in the 1st round, I want it to be a guy like Caleb Williams, who's looked at as a can't miss, surefire prospect, or a guy with serious rushing upside like Jaden Daniels. So the Drake Mays, JJ McCarthy's, Bo Nix, Michael Penix just don't really move the needle much for me unless it's later in drafts. So looks like we had a little run here after AD Mitchell. So Mike went after going Xavier Worthy, went Jermaine Burton, Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver. And then we had as well, is that Jalen Wright, the running back from Miami out of Tennessee? And then Jalen Polk to Joey at the 206, Blake Corum at the 207 to Evan Ringler. And then let's see, running back, is that Marshawn Lloyd? Green Bay. Running back to Kyle. Oh, Green Bay fan. There you go at the 208. and Scott is on the clock at the 209. Addy, give me your thoughts. Oh, he goes Troy Franklin, Broncos wide receiver, who we saw fall quite a bit in the actual NFL draft, but reunites with his college quarterback, Bo Nix, there in Denver at the 209. Addy, give me your thoughts here on this run of picks after A.D. Mitchell.
Jermaine Burton, he's interesting, right? There's a lot of like character concerns apparently with him. That's what I've been hearing. But yeah, I mean, he's, Alabama, really good athlete, good numbers, all that stuff. So, I mean, that could be a nice upside play. I mean, tethered to Joe Burrow, I like that. And then Jalen Wright, that's interesting. 205. Looks like that would be RB3 in this draft. Picked him over Blake Corum, who went 207. I really like Blake Corum. I know that it's a little messy there with Kyron Williams, but that's probably going to be like a timeshare.
From what I was reading, it sounds like Blake Corum is kind of a copy and paste of Kyron Williams.
Yep, I think so.
So they've got a type, and I think it's probably Kyron Williams insurance.
Yeah, and then Kyron Williams, he may have 2 years left, so I imagine they won't have to overpay him now. So, yeah, Corum could look really, really nice in 3 years. But I like that pick. I've already taken him at 210 in a draft. Let's see. And then we had Marshawn Lloyd right after Blake Corum. That's another. Yeah, they're all in that same range. Marshawn Lloyd, you got Josh Jacobs there, but Lloyd got solid draft capital, drafted in the third round. And then he's fun. He's a fun running back to watch. So.
And we had our first IDP go off the board to
Cooper DeJean.
Jake Colhagen going Cooper DeJean at 210. I'll be curious his rationale. I wonder if he's like kick return possibility, but that feels a little early for Cooper DeJean.
A little early.
I think you could have probably snagged Cooper at like 310.
Yeah. Well, I'm in Unreal Tournament. That's a super flex.
You're actually up at 212. I don't want you to miss your pick. Drake May just went. But you were saying in Unreal, did Cooper DeJean go already in Unreal
He's still
Tournament?
available.
Still available?
I'm trying to. I think Latu was the first IDP off the board.
That is a super flex tight end premium league, correct?
Latu was 206, I believe.
Okay.
And then Dallas Turner was 209, and Jared Verse was 210.
Okay. So what are you thinking here, Addy? You've got Jonathan Brooks, no wide receivers yet for you. You gonna dip your toe into the wide receiver well? You thinking probably too early for IDP, or are you thinking IDP here?
I think IDP would be fun. I mean, yeah, I think we're in consideration for it. I mean, receiver wise, I'm looking at Malachi Corley.
Yes, sir.
Out of WKU, go Tops. Or I mean, maybe Javon Baker, maybe Rowan Wilson. So yeah, I mean, I think going edge would be kind of fun here.
It was funny. Aaron was like, with how the start of this draft is going to go, it's going to be welcome to the not IDP show. For tonight's episode, but we got our first one.
We got to do both, man.
We got to rep it out.
This is how it is this time of the year, guys. I mean, we know offense too. We're not no dopes.
We're not no dopes, he says.
All right,
which might be indicative that we are in fact dopes.
Sometimes we are dopes.
We are dopes occasionally.
Yeah, this is tough. I do love me some Javon Baker as well. Of a lot of these guys are in that same range.
Yeah, Javon Baker. Landing, I believe. Where he did?
You know what? I think I'm going to do it for the pod.
Yeah, New England.
I'm going to do it for the pod, though.
Do it for the pod. Dallas Turner.
We're going Dallas Turner.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Talk to me though. This seems like good value. I mean, 2 IDPs off the board, and Dallas Turner with a group of IDP obsessed maniacs. Dallas Turner at the 212.
I think that's the way to play it this year, though. I mean, this feels like one of the best value drafts maybe ever for IDPs as far as rookie drafts go. So, I mean, just we've talked about it, all off season, just how there's a ton of good offensive talent. I mean, we saw it in the actual draft. It was pick 15 until we saw our first defender off the board.
That's right.
And so that's just people are gonna think it's or say things like it's a weak class because of that, when really it's not.
It's just a very strong offensive.
It's just a strong offensive class, right?
And a very, very a lot of interest, a lot of unexpected interest in early QBs.
And there's 4 really nice prospects. So you don't have to overdraft any of these guys. You can kind of like what I did right there. I took Dallas Turner, right? I planted a flag on a guy. Actually dumb to do that. If you take your phantom out of it, really I should try and be patient. Now, I don't think any of these edges will be back there for me. I was
going to say
312.
Leatu Latu went 301. Edgerrin Cooper goes 302.
So here they all go.
Yeah, I think we're about to start an IDP run, but I'm actually going to swerve back to a player that you mentioned who I would love to be able to scoop up in the third round. I think I have 3 or 4 third round. I think it's 3 third round picks in our main league. And I would be very happy to scoop up Malachi Corley, New York Jets wide receiver, formerly of WKU. So would love to get Malachi Corley at the 303. I mean, I think it's Garrett Wilson and a lot of turds there.
Alan Lazard.
Yeah, guys that they would love to be able to move on from. Randall Cobb, the corpse of Randall Cobb.
Yeah.
A bunch of Aaron Rodgers buddies. I'm surprised he hadn't gotten RFK a deal to play, I don't know, punter.
It's coming.
Yeah, a long snapper or something.
Love to hear him commentate, maybe.
Yeah, that would be so great. Did you see where Aaron Rodgers liked the post that said something like, who was the player that they took earlier on? It was a wide receiver. It was get ready to learn ayahuasca, buddy. And Aaron Rodgers liked the tweet because the guy was coming to the Jets. So that rookie's in for absolute hell. It reminds me of who was the rookie? I don't think it was Jordan Love. Maybe it was Jordan Love. The first thing out of Aaron Rodgers' mouth was, what was it? Have you done your own research on 9/11 or something like that? Right? Remember that story that came out? Just some typical Aaron Rodgers type stuff. What a weirdo. He stinks. I still had it on the board. That was the origin of that dude stinks from Connie. So Mike goes Junior Colson at the 304. Let's read off some more rationale because the guys have been kind enough. Going back to the Ricky Pearsall pick from DJKT. Didn't have a true breakout at Florida, but was close. He tested incredibly well and got the first round draft capital. Worth it at the end of the first round in a 1 QB league. And then we see, you already mentioned your pick, so we'll skip to the 201, Trey Benson. One of the best athletes in the class at running back in a decent landing spot. Connor has never stayed healthy for a full season his entire career. He's also 29 and in the last year of his contract. Second best running back in the draft, gets the second best landing spot. For Xavier Legette, Jeff said, 5th-year breakouts in college don't scare me, and I love the landing spot for Legette. He has the frame and draft capital to become Bryce Young's go-to target over the middle. Mike Wollert, again, I don't really know anything about these guys. I'm just pressing buttons. I did hear that Joe Burrow guy is pretty good, though. Thank you, Mike. And then let's go to Eric Harms with Jalen Wright at the 205. Eric said Wright's speed fits great at Miami. Mostert's replacement to split time with A-Chain as soon as Mostert gets hurt, or if A-Chain gets hurt, let's be honest, both are likely. Jalen Polk for Joey at 206. Joey said Polk is going to be a sure-handed possession receiver in an offense with a rookie QB and no wide receiver 1. He may become the de facto wide receiver 1 on the Patriots. Let's see here. Evan Ringler going with Blake Corum at 207. Solid, well-rounded running back that coaches will love. The Rams are a slept-on landing spot as they always feed their RBs, and Kyron is a risky player. Without an injury, Corum could be usable in a goal line role. If Kyron does get hurt, Corum could become an RB1. So I'll update you all on these picks here, and then we'll go back and get some more rationale. So after Malachi Corley, we saw Junior Colson to Mike at 304. Roman Wilson, Pittsburgh, wide receiver at the 305 to Eric. Jared Verse, 306 to Joey. Ray Davis, Buffalo, wide receiver out of UK to Ringler at 307. J.J. McCarthy to Kyle at 308. Chop Robinson to Scott at 309. Chris Braswell at the 310 to Jake. And the G.J. Keltown is up at the 311. Addy, you see who's on the board here. Who are you hoping makes it to you at 312?
Cooper DeJean's up there still. Actually, no, he's not.
He was the first IDP.
I'm in a wrong draft.
You're in the wrong draft. Like Cooper DeJean, baby.
Yeah, he's on the clock.
You trying to make a trade?
310 in another league that I'm in.
That's what we said. It also probably would have been available for Jake at 310.
Exactly. Also, though, Junior Colson's there too at 310. That's pretty tough.
I'm going Junior Colson in that situation.
Pretty good right there. Am I actually on the clock right now, Josh?
You are up in about a minute and a half.
Okay. Let's see what the queue looks like. It's down there. We're in. Maybe we can get Javon Baker. I think that'd be nice right here.
Yes.
Yeah, offense is really getting picked over at this point. I mean, there's a lot of like running back darts in this class that we can Someone's going to take Kamani Vidal here in a little bit.
Tell me about this Kamani Vidal guy.
I have seen so many damn posts about this dude. He's not a sleeper anymore. Like there's no chance this guy's a sleeper. I've seen probably 500 posts about Vidal.
Yeah,
being the running.
Are there sleepers anymore?
I
feel
so.
like fantasy football analysis is too deep and too well done at this point to actually allow for any kind of sleepers.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Ben Sinnott, tight end, Washington goes at the 311. I was hoping he might make it back around.
He's going to be a great value in drafts. Yeah. I mean, he's lingering around to the third round in tight end premium leagues. So he's not a flashy player.
We wondered on the last podcast if possibly some of these edge rushers might make it into the third round, and we did see that with both Latu and Verse being available in the third round. Latu at 301, Jared Verse at 306. So, Addy, take us inside that beautiful brain of yours. What are you thinking here at the 312?
I think Javon Baker probably shouldn't be here.
He shouldn't be here.
I don't think he should be here.
You shouldn't be here, Javon.
Not at 312.
I was going to say that's your 23rd ranked player in your 1 QB ranks.
Yeah. So, I think he's the pick here. The capital wasn't great. He was a 4th round pick, 10th pick of the 4th round. We had kind of thought that maybe he could sneak into the second pre-draft, but still, I believe in the talent. I mean, he was one of the better profiles PFF wise. So, we're going to go with Javon Baker.
Javon Baker. All right. Very good. And here's the thing. I know I like to hate on the New England Patriots offense and their defense for that matter under Bill Belichick, giving us really no fantasy relevant guys, or at the very least, a very frustrating experience with their fantasy relevant players. But now it's a new era in New England. We have Gerard Mayo there as the head coach. We have Drake May as the new quarterback. So is it possible that we may have fantasy relevant pieces? I want to see it before I invest in it too heavily. But if you want to try to find the edge by investing early in New England, kind of getting in on that ground floor and scooping up value, I mean, there are worse decisions you could make.
Yeah, it's all up to May, right? I mean, if May ends up being good, like if he ends up being like a Herbert type, yeah, you're going to want some pieces of that offense.
So I think it really just depends on what do you think about the quarterback they drafted.
I like Drake May.
Yeah, I think he's going to be.
I was hoping Minnesota was going to maybe get him.
I think there was a lot of chatter about a couple teams wanting to move up. The New York Giants, another team wanting to move up for Drake May, but I think
New England wanted him, as well.
Yeah, New England was like, no, we're not getting the offers that really make it worth it for us to not just sit here and take this guy. So you went Javon Baker at 312. Aaron is back up at the 401. We are hoping that he has not fallen asleep. I think it's like 4 a.m. over where he is. So Aaron, thank you for staying up, buddy, and being part of this draft with us.
You got him a nap, and he should be just fine.
The green light's on, so either he's falling asleep with the phone next to his face.
That happens.
No, there we go. He ends up taking D. Walker out of Baltimore.
Yeah, Devontae
Walker, the wide receiver out of UNC.
Correct.
Is that right? All right. What do we think about that pick there, Addy?
I mean, it's, he's landing in Baltimore.
I know.
They have Zay Flowers. They just re-signed Bateman. Mark Andrews is still mainly the primary target.
That's the guy I want. I want Lamar Jackson. That's the piece out of Baltimore
Correct,
that I want. I don't know that I want a lot of their pass
Derrick
catchers.
Henry, I'll take him as well.
Yes. I kind of forget that he's there, man.
Isn't that wild?
Wild that we're going to see King Henry in a new spot. So, yes, Devontae Walker goes at the 401. Darius Robinson, not Chop Robinson, Darius Robinson of the Arizona Cardinals goes at the 402. So I've got an interesting decision here, Addy. Help me kind of think through this. I am looking at your ranks. Again, it's important to have a list of ranks here, folks, when you're in these drafts. And I'm looking at either your boy, Cole Bishop, who is your 33rd ranked player, safety out of Buffalo, formerly of Utah. I'm also looking at Bucky Irving, Tampa Bay Buccaneers running back, because that's not the scariest depth chart in the world. And I think that offense is actually going to be decent. I think Baker can kind of play a little bit. You've got Mike Evans with a new deal. Chris Godwin's on an expiring deal. I know they brought in another wide receiver as well there. So Bucky Irving, Cole Bishop, help me break the tie here, Addy.
Bucky Irving, really good pass catcher. So, I mean, that's nice. What was the capital for Irving?
Let's see. He was 425, so the 25th pick of the 4th round.
It's not terrible.
Not terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I like that fine. I mean, you got, Ray Davis is another interesting running back.
Yeah, he went at
Buffalo.
307.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good option. But yeah, I mean, I prefer you not to do Cole Bishop just so I can take him. But
Okay, it's going to be Cole Bishop
Yeah.
then. That's we're going. We got to break the seal. We got to get defense on the board for your boy Odunze, Adonai Mitchell, Malachi Corley. It was time to show some love to the IDPs, and I love these 4th round safeties. This is always, I feel like, a sweet spot, at least in our home league, for snatching up some safety value, Addy. So we go with Cole Bishop at 403. Again, Devontae Walker, Darius Robinson, Cole Bishop kicking off the 4th round.
I got Cole Bishop at 5'10" and no position left behind. We talked about this the other night.
That we did.
That draft that I was doing. I don't know where I was. I guess I was right before my 3rd round pick.
Did you end up taking an edge rusher there?
Got Dallas Turner at 310.
Okay, you were at 310, and it was debatable if you were going to go edge rusher there.
Got Latu at 410.
Oh, man. So do you wish you had maybe
No.
just waited? But
Let me have both.
let it have them both?
Yeah, at
I
that
love it.
point, like,
I love
it's we talk about like waiting and waiting until it's a value, but I mean, at 310, it's a value. Like, it doesn't matter if they're all on the board at that point.
Also, would you rather have the wide receiver 11 or the edge 1?
Exactly.
We talked about that before.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like all the running backs were getting drafted in the 4th and 5th round. They were all flying off the board like in the 3rd. I was just like, geez. So I was just picking up all these IDPs. So, yeah, I'm totally fine. If people want to get silly and let these guys slide to the 3rd, I'll take them.
Fine with
I don't
me.
care. And I'll be the guy that takes that picks first out of the 3 too. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's like essentially a staring contest to see who's going
Yeah.
to break the seal. Sometimes it's like, okay, I'll be that guy. You guys are going to push this dude all the way to 310.
Yep.
I mean, even in no position left behind league, I mean, at a certain point, points are points.
Right. And we're talking about like, what's the likelihood that this guy is relevant in 2-3 years? Like if you're talking about like these 4th and 5th round running backs, like not likely at all. Like maybe these guys have a moment, maybe they get like 8 weeks or something towards the end of the year, one of these years. But like an edge rusher, like Dallas Turner, like Latu, like Jared Verse, like you got yourself a legit asset for 10 years. Probably.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's not really a difficult decision for me, but I know it's, especially this year, everyone's looking back last year and you see Puka Nacua, Tank Dell, Sam Laporta, all these guys that were drafted like 3rd, 4th round, undrafted. Everyone's thinking they can get those guys this year. They can find this year's Puka, this year's whoever. It's unlikely. It's last year was an outlier year. Probably not going to happen this year.
Yeah, I don't want my draft strategy to be, let me find the next Tank Dell or Puka Nacua.
But that's what everyone's going to be doing.
I think that's a risky strategy. I'd rather just take the best,
I think that's why you're seeing
most talented players.
In leagues that like we're all in together. Like I'm in a lot of leagues with, you, Macri, Joey, Aaron, like all these guys that we're mocking with tonight, pretty much. The IDPs, they're not really values in those type leagues.
Yes.
Like, where everyone knows what's up. But like in your leagues where there's some casuals mixed in, like you really will be able to get values, I think, in this draft.
Yeah.
Just because of that stuff. Everyone's chasing the Tank Dells, the Puka Nacuas, the Pachecos. Everyone's wanting to get those guys, and they're willing to just pass on these, I don't know, these top 20 picks for some reason.
It's like Sig said that really stuck with me when we potted with him previously. Be a bean counter. It's about points.
Yep.
And I think there is a better chance that Latu or Dallas Turner or Edgerrin Cooper or Junior Colson gives you more points over the lifetime of their career than some of these 4th, 5th round wide receivers, running backs, tight ends.
Yep.
So a little bit of an update here. After I went Cole Bishop at 403, Mike goes Shatavian Sanders, tight end, Carolina at the 404. Eric goes Tyrone Tracy, running back, New York Giants at the 405. Joey stabs Mike in the back at 406, going linebacker out of Tennessee, Cedric Gray at 407. Tyler Newbin, the safety out of the New York Giants, goes to Evan Ringler. Peyton Wilson, Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker, 408 to Kyle Byron Murphy II to Scott Soltis at the 409. And then Shipley, let's see who this Shipley character is. Do we have
Will Shipley?
Will Shipley. Okay,
He's
I thought
landed
that's
Philly.
what it was.
Yeah, he was their 4th round draft pick.
Yeah, so 410, Will Shipley to Jake. DJ Keltown is up at the 411. And Addy, you are on deck at the 412. What are you thinking here as we wrap up the 4th?
Just going to be looking at the value that's out there right now, and based on the ranks, it's looking like Bucky Irving. He's still out there. Someone you mentioned recently. Trevin Wallace is also out there. If we want to continue with the IDP theme, which he landed in Carolina.
Yep.
It's probably not great for next year, of course, but who cares? I mean, it's Josie Jewell and Shaq Thompson. I mean, those guys are both like over 29 at this point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not a scary room. And they gave him, good capital. He was drafted, 8th in the 3rd round. So that's really nice. I mean, freak athlete, 9.31 RAS. So one of the better athletes in this class out of Kentucky. Love that as well.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, I think he's a solid option here. I'll probably go him.
I was gonna say Jalen McMillan was the wide receiver from Tampa Bay. I was referencing earlier. He goes at 411 to DJ Keltown. We will probably wrap up the draft and then rattle off some of these rationales here. But Addy, it looks like maybe through about 48 picks, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 of the first 48 picks have gone IDP. I guess 47, depending on what you do here. So 14 of the first 47.
That feels about right.
So you had kind of speculated 15 to 20 players in a 60-person draft, or a 60-pick draft. So we'll see where it ends up. We're at 14 right now by my count. So
this is tough. I could also go Isaac Granado. I don't know. That's definitely not how you pronounce it.
Guriendo?
Yes. He's in San Francisco now. So, I mean, that's always a great landing spot for running backs.
Kyle Shanahan offense. Very nice.
You got CMC there, but if he gets hurt, like, oh my God, imagine that. But then again, I like Trevin Wallace is really nice as well. That's a good fit.
He would be, it looks like the maybe 4th linebacker. Edgerrin Cooper went first. Then Junior Colson was number 2. Let's see here. I think Cedric Gray was maybe the 3rd linebacker off the board. Yeah, he was.
I'm going Trevin Wallace.
Trevin Wallace, baby. So that gives us, I think that was linebacker 5 because Peyton Wilson was LB 4 and Trevin Wallace linebacker 5. Yeah, I agree. I think that could be a LB1 job sooner rather than later for
I'm not really
Mr.
confident
Wallace.
in Shaq Thompson anymore.
Yeah, just kind of feels like the best days for Shaq Thompson are behind him.
Coming off a pretty serious injury, right? Like he broke his leg.
I'll vet this here.
But yeah, I mean he's getting up there in age anyway, so I'm not really concerned with that room. I mean that should look like a pretty wide open depth chart. I think as soon as 2025. So
yeah, he has underwent surgery. It was a fractured fibula. Yeah. So missed the rest of the season.
Yep.
Pretty serious injury. So we are coming down the home stretch now. We are at the 5:01. Arn can make this pick and go to bed. Thanks again, Arn, for hanging in there with us and drafting. So sitting here at the 5:03, I am really hoping there's a chance that Bucky Irving makes it back around to me. I'm thankful the guys can't hear my picks right now or what I'm thinking because I know they would snipe me just to spite me. Javon Bullard. Is that his first name? Javon Bullard?
Yep.
DB safety, right? Green Bay.
yes, out of Georgia.
Yeah, 5:01 to Aaron. Jeff is up at the 5:02. Let's see what he is thinking here. Let's hope that maybe
Bullard was the second safety off the board in this class behind Newbin.
Yeah,
Bishop was number 3.
Like we said, Newbin went at the 407. He was safety 2 in this draft. I went Cole Bishop. No, actually, well, I guess it depends on how you're classifying Cooper DeJean. I'm looking at him as a cornerback right now, primarily. I think on platforms like RSO, DeJean will be designated a cornerback. Mm-hmm. Do you think so?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And
MFL and RSO. Actually, you know what? Let me check.
Yeah, see what he is. I don't think RSO has got the rookies in there yet, but see what he is in MFL. So Jeff goes with Bo Nix, Denver quarterback at the 502. So I get the guy that I was considering at the 403. And we are going to go with Bucky Irving, the running back out of Tampa Bay at 503. I like that value a lot. So that gives me a 5-round haul of Rome Odunze, Adonai Mitchell, Malachi Corley, Cole Bishop, and Bucky Irving. I feel pretty good about that. Addy, what'd you find out?
He's actually a safety on MFL.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of surprising.
Interesting. He was the 506 in here.
506.
Yep.
Okay. So let's add the sleeper board back in. We're getting a run of picks here. Looks like Mike Wollert goes with UTEP, sleeper, Tyrese Knight, linebacker, Seattle Seahawks at 504, Johnny, Jerzon Newton, defensive tackle, Washington Commanders at the 505 to Eric. Looks like M. Washington. I'm still familiarizing myself with some of these offensive guys.
Who was it? Braylon Allen?
It was M. Washington.
Oh, Malik Washington.
Malik
out of
Washington.
Miami. A guy that I really liked quite a bit. A smaller slot type receiver, but ended up going in the 6th round. So that sucks.
Yeah. So goes to Joey at 506. Marshawn Nealon, Dallas edge rusher at the 507 to Evan. And then Braylon Trice, Atlanta edge rusher at 508 to Kyle. Braylon Allen, New York Jets running back 509 to Scott. Jake is up at 5'10", then DJ Keltown at 5'11", and then you at 5'12", Addy. Little bit of an IDP run here. So you went with Trevin Wallace at 4'12". I believe that was number 15 of the IDPs. There's your Vidal, as you predicted. And then Bullard makes 16. Knight is 17. Newton is 18. Nealon is 19. Trice is 20. So there we are. We're at 20, and we have 2 picks left.
Feels good. Feels
so
right.
You nailed that. Good job by you.
Yeah, I look back at like our last drafts, like our last 6 drafts we've had in RSO, and that was around it. It was like, they would range from, I think one year it got as low as like there was only 14 IDPs drafted, but then it would, there was as many as 23, I think, in one season. So,
and that league's a pretty good proxy, I feel like, for most leagues.
I think so too.
It's got a good mix of like locked in, folks in there. And then
everyone's pretty much locked in on the offense for sure.
Yes.
But then, there are definitely some people that are more locked in on
more casual.
IDPs. Yeah.
Not like.
But a really good league. I mean, it's
really good league.
It's a good league.
It's our favorite league.
Yeah.
So
good skill.
Yeah.
Good competition.
It's been a different champion the first
every single year.
8 years, 7 years of the league. It started in 2016, and we've had a different champion every single year. So getting a good league like that, folks. And if you're looking for a fun platform with a true degenerate spin, we recommend Reality Sports Online. You get the NFL salary cap, you get contracts, you get IR, you get taxi squad, you get multi-year deals. It's a lot of fun. Yep. So make sure you check out Reality Sports Online if you're looking for something new and challenging. D. Laub, out of
New Hampshire.
Dylan Laub.
I think he landed with the Raiders.
Yes, at 632. So the last pick of the 6th round.
Fun player.
You were up at the 512.
Uh-oh.
So it went, Braylon Allen, Vidal, Laub, and then Addy's up on the board 512. About a minute and a half here, Addy. What you thinking as we wrap up the 5th round?
Some fine talent still out there. Luke McCaffrey still out there out of Washington. Johnny Wilson still out there from Philly. Jacob Cowing is still out there. San Fran picked him up. Nia Smith is out there. So, I mean, there's, options like that. But this is the IDP show, baby.
So what are we thinking?
I would like to just go ahead and get one of my boys here. One of my guys. My boy Tyke Smith.
Tyke Smith. Okay. So why Tyke Smith over some of the other defensive talent that's still out there?
What is out there first? I haven't really had a chance to look.
It's really hard to tell because the ADP for sleeper is absolute garbage.
But I mean, I'm looking like I have Tyke Smith pretty high up in my ranks. Like I have Tyke Smith as my 3rd safety in this class behind Tyler Nubin. So here comes Bo Richter.
Bo Richter.
That's what Mike said in the chat.
Well, you did schedule it out for some reason through 27 rounds for a rookie mock draft. So
That's right.
I think Eric said it took him a while to get his queue built out to 324 players.
Man, I guess I'm going to go with
10 seconds.
I'm going to go with Tyke.
Okay.
We're just going to put a nice little bow on it. Tyke Smith, 5'12". I mentioned this a lot on the last episode, but he's a slot corner. So I mean, I think that he's going to have a chance to fill in right there immediately. I mean, it's Christian Isian who is the slot corner there right now. So he's got a chance to replace him. But also he's versatile. I mean, he could still get snaps at safety. He could you can play him in the box, play him deep. You can do a lot of different things with Tyke Smith. So they took him in the third round, the end of the third round. So I mean, I expect him to eventually get his opportunity. Probably not next year, but definitely in 2025. I mean, if Antoine Winfield were to leave,
oh baby, boy. That is nice. Do you want to go ahead and end this draft so we don't have 27 rounds spilling out?
Yes.
We did confirm that DJ Keltown hates IDPs. Was he the only one not to take an IDP? We'll have to go through here. We'll bring up the board, and you guys can take a look at how this 5-round mock ended up. Joey the 2 said, "Good night, boys." Posted the gif of someone pulling up their hoodie over their face. So, Joey, thank you for staying up. We know a lot of old men in this draft needing to get to bed, so we appreciate you boys staying up with us past your bedtimes and doing this mock draft. Appreciate you, babies. Sleep tight. Addie, let's go through the board here and kind of break down some of these later picks. So I'll add this back into the video here for the folks watching on YouTube. So to recap the 5th round, Javon Bullard, Bo Nix, Bucky Irving, Tyrese Knight, Johnny Newton, Malik Washington, Marshawn Nealon, Braylon Trice, Braylon Allen. Is it Kendall Vidal, or what is the first name of this Vidal character?
No idea.
K. Vidal.
We'll learn it though here soon. You're going to hear a lot of talk about him coming up.
Yeah, that was one. We had it pretty well covered, but that was definitely one that we had to add to the old ranks.
Whoever landed there was going to get just crazy hype.
Kamani Vidal.
So it was Vidal. I mean, he's like a 5'8" running back out of Troy.
I don't know, man.
I know. It's
feels like a little bit of trying to get too cute.
Right. And it's also like, man, he's going to immediately get replaced.
Yeah. What are we doing here? Yeah. So there you go. Vidal is at the 5'10" to Jake. Dylan Laub at the 5'11". I like saying his name a lot. And then Tyke Smith, your boy, Tampa Bay, 5'12". So
I will say I like him there at like 5 whatever. What was he? 5'10"? Vidal?
Yeah, Vidal.
Yeah. At that point, who cares?
But
like there's people, that like are reaching on this guy, like
can't
taking
you
him in
just
the 4th round and stuff.
Can't you just scoop him up off waivers after the draft? Well, there'll be someone trying to be cute and not let the 5th round. Yeah. Someone would probably trade up to like 5'10" or something if Vidal hadn't been picked.
But I just can't get excited about any of those running backs in that range. Like all those running backs that got drafted like late 5th round or late 4th round. Just
I always like to look at like what's the sweet spot for this draft, right? Like where do you want to be? We talk about this sometimes with the best ball drafts of like where do you want to be? Like I love being at the 106 in best ball drafts because that's right there at that kind of tier break of the top 6 edge rushers. So I'll just take, whatever value happens to fall there. I was at 108 in best ball 14, ended up going Foye Oluokun. And then got Montez Sweat on the way back. So
see, I kind of like that. Like I like if I don't really care if I'm where I'm at, but if I'm 107 or to 101 in that range, 101 to 107, I guess. I'll probably go edge. I'll go with one of those elite edge rushers. But I mean, I honestly kind of like getting those late, 108 to 112 range just because I kind of like going the linebacker heavy to start now.
I really thought about it. It was a lot of the good top tier linebackers got picked over before it got back to me.
People are doing it now.
Yes. They're doing the linebacker early builds. And so I was like, well, let me try a little linebacker heavy build. Of course, Zaire Franklin would have been like my pick in the 2nd round. And I was like, right, exactly. I'm not going to let like
Ernest Jones went 203 or whatever in that round.
And then, all the good linebackers were off the board.
Okereke
was right before me, I think, or right before you maybe. So I'm like, I'm not going to let Montez Sweat and Chris Jones and Quinnen Williams sit out there to scoop up a Zaire Franklin. Anyways, little best ball detour there. Let's look at this board though, Addie. And tell me kind of where you see the sweet spot for this draft. I will say, I like drafting from the 103. I felt like I was able to get some nice value in each of the rounds. I love Adonai Mitchell. That's probably my favorite pick there at 203. Would not be surprised to see him go 1st round in a lot of drafts. but great value there at 203. I love the Trey Benson pick at 201 as well. I think that is Benson and Brooks, the two running backs that I'm very much interested in. Blake Corum, too, to an extent. I think Jalen Wright in Miami is interesting. Those are really the four. Marshawn Lloyd, I think you could probably lump in there as the fifth guy. I think the running backs actually went off the board, probably in the order I actually like them.
Yeah. I'm probably a little higher on Corum. But, yeah, I mean, I think, like, the first 18 picks, I'm good with offense, I think. I'm not really mixing in IDP. And then, like, sweet spot for IDP is, like, really, like, the beginning of the third, I think. Because you can still have a shot at one of the elite edge guys.
Yep, we saw Latu go 301.
Yeah, and I think and this is one QB, guys. So, I mean, that's really, really good value.
Imagine the value that's there in Superflex leagues.
Yes.
When we get 3 to 4 more quarterbacks going in the first round.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, I think, early thirds, I would love to have an early third designated for whichever IDP asset's going to be there, whether it be Latu, whether it be maybe Colson, if you want to go linebacker, or Edrin Cooper. Do you have a preference? Kyle was in a interesting spot in our Unreal Tournament League. I think he was like at 303, and Edrin Cooper and Junior Colson were both there on the board.
Oh, man. That's tough.
And, he's a
Packers fan.
He's a Packers fan.
Yep.
But also a Michigan fan.
Boy, his soul was split right there.
He went Edrin Cooper.
Interesting choice. I'm probably going Junior Colson.
Yeah.
I think
that was really interesting, though.
Probably my LB1, all things considered. But if you like Edrin Cooper, can't fault you. I just think Junior Colson has the best shot to play year one.
But yeah, I think that's the sweet spot. If you're looking for best IDP value, get like an early third, 301 if you can get it. Because I think there's a good chance you're going to have a shot at Latu, Turner, or Verse. Yeah, and then even the fourth round. I mean, third, fourth, fifth, it's nice, man. I mean, I love me some Cole Bishop in the fourth. You can get you some Peyton Wilson, Byron Murphy in the fourth now.
Yep.
Trevin Wallace, I took it you'll be able to get him in the fifth, I bet. There's just tons of good IDPs in the third, fourth. That's usually the story every single year, but it's really on display this year.
I think we ended up with 21, I believe, IDPs in a 60-pick draft. So that's about what you figured, 15 to 20. It might have actually been 20 on the nose. Tyke Smith might have been number 20.
It was a really hyped up offensive class.
Yep.
And it didn't get the capital that I think a lot of us thought it would. I think we thought that I thought Javon Baker would be a second, third round pick. A lot of those running backs that went a lot later, we thought that they would be, maybe third round picks. There really wasn't a lot of tight ends drafted high. A lot of the things that, we needed to happen draft capital wise didn't really happen. So that's, but people are still swinging like it did. People are still acting like these offensive assets got high capital and they're going to be, safe for 2-3 years, but that's not the case, I don't think. So
let's bring the board back up here, Eddie. Where do you think the cliff is for offense? Where are you?
I start getting kind of scared around 206, 207. When I start having to look between the Marshawn Lloyds, the Troy Franklins.
I was going to say that Troy Franklin feels like the cliff to me.
Yeah, that range. Malachi Corley, even though we love him, it still is just Roman Wilson. What's he going to look like there? What are they doing at quarterback?
Is Polk kind of the last guy, 206 there, that you're okay?
And even I'm not even that. He feels a little scary too, because it's
New England.
It's New England. We don't know about Drake May, but he got good capital. So I mean, you kind of want to trust that. But it's also New England, who's been terrible at drafting, especially receiver, forever.
Yeah, and I don't think they switched out the GM there. So,
but there was a lot of smart people that I respect that were fans of Polk. So I'm willing to.
Willing to give him a shot.
Sure. But yeah, that's about then, when you start getting into the Marshawn Lloyds, Troy Franklin's, that range, there's not really a lot of sexy assets, I don't think. I was happy to get Javon Baker at 312. That was nice.
Yeah. Let's read a few more rationales here from our boys. Jake said of DeJean, playmaker, Eagles will find a way, slot, safety, returner. This is a reach, but I believe in the talent and he's not making it back around. High draft capital on DBs is not advocated, but outliers can exist, and I think it exists with Cooper. Scott said about his pick of the aforementioned Troy Franklin at 209. With Judy already gone and Sutton likely next, Franklin is in a prime position for a team that could be very bad and have to rely on the passing game to catch up for the foreseeable future. Everyone was calling Kyle a homer for taking Marshawn Lloyd. He said, yes, it is a homer pick, but Marshawn Lloyd can ball and was some guy named Daniel Jeremiah's top running back in the class. Lloyd is a huge upgrade over A.J. Dillon and has big upside if Josh Jacobs is too pricey in the near future. DJ Keltown said of Drake May, we don't like the landing spot, but May adds enough as a rusher and is a good passer in the areas of the field that defenses are making quarterbacks throw to these days. So you already gave your Dallas Turner sort of thoughts here. I wanted to get the Leatu Latu since I am a Colts fan. I wanted to see what Arn had to say. With Addy taking Turner, we could see a run on the edge guys here. There's a massive drop-off after Latu and Verse, and I didn't think any way I'd get them on the way back. He was correct. Latu is just so smooth in his movements and possesses the best arsenal of pass rush moves to be an instant impact at the next level. Like Chris Ballard did on draft night, I'm sitting here chuckling, saying I just got the best effing pass rusher in the draft. So Ballard was really feeling himself.
I know,
Let's just put that out there, that the man was on an absolute heater in the NFL draft, especially with a live mic in his face.
Yeah, you got the vibes of someone going through divorce or something.
Yeah, something going on. The hair especially just reeks of like late 40s, early 50s desperation. Jeff said of Edgerrin Cooper, the LB1 in college football last year, according to PFF, and he is the LB1 for JEFF this season. That was a nice little joke there, Jeff. He can cover and excels at the pass rush. He will send Quay to the locker room early, slamming his helmet and the walls. So there you go. Crybaby Quay. I mentioned my rationale there for the pick at 303 of Malachi Corley. I wanted to give Eric Harms' rationale. While it was tempting to take Verse, I really like Roman Wilson in Pittsburgh in Deontay Johnson's former role, and Jake the Snake took Cooper DeJean, so that's right. Eric was betrayed in a big spot by Jake taking Cooper DeJean. Let's read a couple more rationales.
Did we get a rationale on the Cooper DeJean pick?
We did, yeah. Jake said, I know it's a reach, but he's not making it back, and the Eagles always find a way to get their playmakers on the field. That's true. I wanted to give a couple more here. Joey the Two said of Jared Verse, I love the Jared Verse landing spot, and he's currently my IDP 1 rookie. Wow. The Rams now have a sneaky good and young front, including Verse, Byron Young, Kobe Turner, and fellow FSU rookie Brandon Fisk. Bright defensive future with that line for the Rams.
I don't hate it. I mean, that's not a terrible call. I mean, I think the market would probably agree with him that Verse, if Verse comes out and puts up, plays 900 snaps, gets like what Byron Young did last year as far as snaps goes, but then is more productive, gives us like 10 sacks, 60 tackles. That's going to be, I think, if assuming, Latu doesn't go nuts like that or Turner doesn't go nuts like that, like I think that'll be kind of the thought is that Verse is the best edge of this class.
He's going to play a lot.
I think so.
He's going to play a lot of snaps.
So he's in a great spot, man. Yeah, I mean, and the fact that you're able to get this guy like in the third, that is easy. That is very easy.
Yeah. So let's wrap up here. I'll read the rationales for the rest of the third round. Evan Ringler said of Ray Davis, another UK player. We love to see that. And Ray Davis's story is incredible. If you guys have not checked that out, go do a little background research on Ray Davis. Awesome, awesome dude. While there's some great defensive players still on the board, offense will usually reign supreme for me. Ray Davis landed in a great situation in Buffalo. He will play a role from day one as they have nobody behind James Cook. I love the way he plays, even though he's 87 years old and came from the state of Kentucky. Evan, you have been fired from the IDP Show. Sorry to let you go, bud, on the episode like this, but we need your resignation letter on our desk by tomorrow morning.
Not even something funny to joke about. Truly.
We're from the state of Kentucky. Yeah. What do you mean?
I don't like
with
that.
The barfing face emoji. One of the ideal landing spots for Chop Robinson. This is Scott's rationale for 309, where he will get immediate snaps and opportunities to convert some of those pressures into sacks. We did wonder where Chop was going to go. I think Bobby said this feels like 401. He goes at 309, so pretty close. Maybe a little bit of an early pick. but should get opportunity.
In a draft like this with the people in it, it's going to happen,
Yeah.
But I think in most drafts, I think he's going to be there for in the 4th round.
So Kyle says back-to-back homer picks for me. Go blue. McCarthy needs to develop, but landed in a prime spot to do so, and has big-time weapons with Jefferson, Addison, and Hawkinson. That is hard. That's all Suns there at the end.
Yeah,
just now realized that.
Wow,
trips you up. And then Jake said of Chris Brazzers Braswell, depth chart that is very climbable, but also enough talent that he doesn't have to try to do it himself. I think year 1 he gets a great chance for decent volume and can secure a role for years 2 through 4 with a clear path. And then the last one was Ben Sinat. DJ Keltown said, checks all the boxes you want at tight end. Big enough, 6'4", 250, athletic enough, 4.68 40, and 6'8" 3 cone. Productive, even though he started college as a fullback. These are the tight ends we want to target in Dynasty. So there you go, folks. Hopefully you all have enjoyed this episode. We're clocking in right at an hour. We will also share this draft board when the episode goes live. We'll share it on Twitter. So if you're wanting to take another look, maybe you got a rookie draft coming up and you're wanting to see where guys are actually going off the board, we'll share the link to this draft board as well. So thank you all for tuning in to this episode. We really appreciate all the support you guys have been showing us the past few days. Draft episodes doing crazy numbers in the podcast feed and on YouTube. Cool, so really, really appreciate you all checking out the show. And we've got a lot of good stuff coming up for you all next week. We, the Big Three, will be doing the IDP Trade Show. It'll be a live stream here in the Sode Shack. Get those trades ready. If you're thinking about trades, maybe you've got one sitting in your inbox, or you've made a trade recently, send it in and we will break it down on the show. And then the week after that, we'll be talking to Scott Bogman about winners and losers post-NFL draft. We mentioned the draft kit, Addy, dropping on Wednesday for all paid supporters. So just lots of good stuff. We're trying to take care of our folks here at the IDP Show.
I think we've done a good job of doing that. Really proud of the stuff we've put out this year. I mean, we've leveled up in ways that I really didn't think was possible. At least not this soon. And yeah, we have the best team around us now, and it's pretty cool stuff, man. We're just trying to get better every single year and continue to provide people with stuff maybe they haven't had before, and I think that we're on the right path, and exciting stuff, dude.
Exciting stuff. Best ball drafts are rolling, so if you want to get a taste of the drafts with the rookies added in, come check it out. We've got a couple rolling right now. We'll have some more. I think 16 is filling right now, I believe.
Yeah, right.
So get in there, draft with us.
Rookies are there now, so
that's right.
Who's going to be the first redraft rookie off the board?
Oh boy, first redraft rookie off the board for IDP.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be Jared Verse. I think
Jared
that's probably a
Verse.
smart take. I really do.
Where's he go?
Now, we'll say, I think that's in your more like plugged in kind of diehard leagues. Mm-hmm. I think maybe more casual leagues, and people just love linebackers. So I'll say probably Junior Colson in more casual leagues, more like mainstream leagues.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, in those best balls that we run, I mean, those edge guys, everyone wants a nice edge.
That's
edge
true.
Rusher,
I guess we'll find out here pretty soon.
I feel like he's gonna probably be like I don't know, going before the 6th round.
You think so?
5th or 6th round, I think. By the time it's all said and done, I mean, I could see that.
Jared Verse, you mean?
Yeah,
yeah.
Like going around like where like I don't know, like a Carl Loftus goes or something.
We'll see.
I don't think 60 tackles and 10 sacks. I don't think that's a big stretch for Jared Verse year one.
Not with that kind of volume we anticipate for him.
I think he's that type of player. I think he'll be fine.
And we should mention the ADP included in the IDP Show draft kit. It'll be updated after every single draft that wraps. You'll be able to see where these rookies kind of start out and how they move throughout the offseason. That's one of my favorite things, is just to see you can actually go into the ADP and see where these players have kind of been moving from one draft to the next. So make sure you check that out, folks, theidpshow.com. Check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/@theidpshow. And if you like the show, leave us a 5-star rating and review over on Apple Podcasts and a 5-star rating on Spotify. Really helps us out. But we will be back with you all, the IDP Trade Show, next week. But until then, y'all take care, and we'll see you soon.
It's the IDP show. Now you